My issue with Charleston White is this. Charleston, for the last couple of months, you have shied away from the black interview platforms, saying that you doing it because interviewing on those platforms don't allow you to grow your brand. And DaBaby get called out for not accepting that painting. The first thing Charleston White did was what? Dive right back into the shit. He could have took the high road. He could have talked about that shit with some intellect. He went right to your kids, this, that. But you just said over here that you have been pigeonholed as a firebrand, and you have just said that the interview platforms.
I'm reporting from the block where the truth gets stretched. Journalism with an edge. Every story I fetch. Mic levels on crisp. Every quote get checked. Podcast booming. Turn opinions into verified fact. Voice for the unheard. Pain that I narrate. Turn a booth into a newsroom. Pressure I translate.
Yo, what's good? It's your boy BT Scoop back with BT Scoop TV, man. And today we got Dawgface sitting on Reallyfe Street Starz once again, man. And this time he's speaking on Charleston White. He said that he's cool with Charleston White and all, but the only problem he has with Charleston White is that he dissed the platforms that made him. Like Say Cheese, say that Say Cheese used to ask him all kind of crazy questions to paint him in a negative light. You know what I'm saying? But Dawgface break down the DaBaby situation as an example, and we gonna dive right into that. But before we do, man, y'all hit that like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit that hype button to get this video into the algorithm, man. Almost at 5K subs, man. Trying to get the chance, so y'all do your boy a favor. Hit that sub if you ain't already, man. Let's get into it, see what Dawgface got to say.
There's nothing more destructive than a properly trained. It's like a torpedo. A will destroy himself trying to destroy you. All you gotta do is just look at what's happening with me. I say, I'ma tell your wife you cheating.
What the f?
And gloried in the fact. He beat his chest about it. I'ma tell her you cheating. I'ma tell on you. And it's a legendary who shall remain nameless, because why would I ever mention that name on a platform like?
If y'all know, leave it in the. Hey, who y'all think he talking about? I know y'all. Some of y'all who watching know, but y'all let me know who in the comment section who Dawgface talking about.
Yes, but if you disappointed by anything you see going on, you've been asleep at the wheel for the last 25, 30 years. A nigga is. I don't have no faith or no trust in a nigga, right? At all, period. I expect to be disappointed by a nigga, right? I always watch everybody who I'm around. Everybody who close to me, I watch them. And you will be around me as long as I know you keeping it real. But the very second you do some bad shit, the very second you expose your face, you're going to get the on from around me. I ain't playing no game. No. Once you do one thing, that's it. You ain't getting no second chance to do it again. Because if you do it once, you do it 100 times. And you know better than to do that shit. So you ain't got no justification, no excuse for doing it.
Man.
Disappointed in a nigga. Why? Look at the shit these niggas doing.
But do you feel like, I feel like for the first time, you know, I remember watching Charleston White talk about snitching and breaking it down.
Man.
And it seems like we're actually at the point where it does seem like niggas don't give a fuck about snitching. Do you really think, what do you think about that? Do you feel like we're starting to break some of those stereotypes that we all grew up, even some of the street niggas we seeing kind of like teetering on certain things that, you know, used to be principles and street codes and.
It ain't never, hey listen, Jeff. We've had rats since the beginning of the time, bro. The reason why it seems to be more prevalent or more prominent now in the black community is because we have cell phones. So people can communicate with a nigga did wrong in real time. There's always been rats.
Been going on for decades, man.
In the black community. This should go back to the slave plantation. What the f you think the nigga was who was telling master that me and you finna run? Harry finna run, boss. That was a rat. That was a rat. Ain't none of this shit new. Niggas are f***ed up about this shit. because they stupid and they ain't been properly grooved. A nigga ain't grooved these niggas right? How can you be disappointed in anything a nigga do when niggas is doing the shit they do out loud, out in the public? Charleston White is a product of the black community. Charleston White is not an outlier. He's not the shit that Charleston White do. You just watch me go on Clubhouse with a nigga. I'm arguing with a nigga, and the nigga did the same shit Charleston White did, but said he was a gangster. You just watched it. You watched the nigga go on and do all the same shit Charleston White do. Yeah, I told. That's the shit Charleston. We expect that from Charleston. But that's not just Charleston. That shit is not just indicative of Charleston. That is the black community. The black community is full of all these niggas who want to do the crime, but they don't want to do the time.
But I do think that's the genius of Charleston, because he literally said, I'm putting a mirror in your
face. That's right.
I'm showing y'all this bullshit that y'all
I'm showing y'all. I'm showing this. I'm a mirror. Charleston White, right? And so I have a problem with Charleston White, but not because of how he played any of the shit he's done up to this point. Charleston White, he just simply, he knew that there was a need for him. And he understood that, hey, I can take the truth of what's really going on here, and I can put this shit in these faces. These niggas want to hear this shit. It's refreshing, right? It's refreshing to hear a motherfucker talk like this because it's true, and everybody know it's true. I have a problem with Charleston White, not because none of that kind of shit. I don't give a fuck what he do. You put this Young Thug and the shit that's happened with Thug in Miami, with Charleston, that's Young Thug's fault. That's Young Thug's, that's another example of niggas being stupid. Why? First of all, why are you and Charleston White even at the same venue, at the same event? Why y'all even together? And the niggas you got with you, you know how this nigga coming. Why would the niggas around you, Thug, allow you to put yourself in a situation where you scared and they gonna call police on you? You know how he's serving it. You know what he finna do. That just shows you that even, once again,
you know how to deal with people like Charleston White? Don't give him none of your attention, man. That's the only way you go get past that, man. Because if you, any type of situation and you give Charleston White any type of attention, man, he gonna blow it up from 1 to 1,000.
Niggas who have millions of dollars, niggas who have all the access in the world, just because you have that money, that power, and that fame, it don't mean you're the sharpest tool in the shed. That's number one. Number two, my issue with Charleston, none of that got in shit. My issue with Charleston White is this. Charleston, for the last couple of months, you have shied away from the black interview platforms, saying that you doing it because interviewing on those platforms don't allow you to grow your brand. You want to be something bigger than what you are, right? You saying that interviewers are asking you stupid, ghetto ass questions, right? That's how you built your whole motherfucking down, right? You saying you want to grow above and beyond that. You want to go on Joe Rogan. You want to go on the Sean Mike Kelly show. You want to be featured on some of the more serious platforms and talk about more serious issues that really has something to do with how the world is shaped, right? That's what you want. And you criticize the platforms for not asking you the appropriate questions because according to you, your palate is more expansive than talking about some shit, right? But when DaBaby
and you speak, and Charleston White speaking on the Igga stuff is what got him to where he is now. Well, you say he want to expand. You don't think you supposed to step on your main platform just for, you know what I'm saying, trying to get some recognition by the others? That's crazy work, Charleston White.
Get called out for not accepting that painting. The first thing Charleston White did was what? Dive right back into the nigga shit. He could have took the high road. He could have talked about that shit with some intellect. He went right to your kids, this, that. But you just said over here that you have been pigeonholed as a firebrand, and you have just said that the interview platforms, they haven't allowed you to grow beyond where you are because they ask you questions about all manners of shit, and then you go do some shit. So if a mother want to pay you for an interview right now, what would they want to interview you about? They would interview you about your behavior and the shit you said about DaBaby
and Young Thug.
What the his kids got to do with him turning down a painting from somebody? He's there, and don't forget DaBaby on gangster shit. So wherever he go, he be on point. So he don't know who this nigga is. It's not like he knew the painter and just said, fuck you. When DaBaby moved, DaBaby done killed multiple niggas, bro. So when he moving, you can look at his eyes and tell he just trying to get from point A to point B. So if he turned down something, he don't know who the painter is, bro. The painter wasn't even offended like Charleston White was. DaBaby done killed motherfuckers, bro. So when he moving from point A to point B in the club setting, in the open setting, he don't really be stopping talking to nobody, bro. So right. I didn't even look at that like he was being disrespectful to the guy who shot the hand in the painting. I didn't look at it like that. I'm sure there are other people who that painter, that artist, has tried to give different things to, and they didn't take them as well. We just caught that on camera. See, we catch everything on camera now. So we judging this shit. When DaBaby moved, he moved militant, bro. You know what I'm saying? He don't be with 1,000 security guards. He be 1 or 2 security guards. He moved from point A to point B. Maybe he just was zoned out, waiting to go do his job. So when I looked at that shit, I didn't have the same reaction that Charleston had. To me, that wasn't even newsworthy, bro. Charleston made it newsworthy by his critique of DaBaby, and then when he started talking about his kids and all that other goofy ass shit.
That's just another viral moment, another subject he can go speak on these platforms. Dog, we all know his pedigree, Dawgface. Yeah, I'm with Dawgface though, bro. He Charleston White know what he tripping, bro. Like he using, well, you can't fault him though, you know, he trying to get that bread out these people, bro. And like I say, the only way to keep Charleston White out your business is not speak on him, bro.
So you crying and complaining about the interview platforms not asking you questions about world events, but you doing dumb shit like that. That was hypocritical of you. And it really exposed the fact that you don't know what the fuck you doing. And that's why your stock been dropping.
I don't know, bro. This internet shit is tricky. It's tricky. For you, you know, like, cause I can see you going on different shows like a Pierce Morgan and debating politics. I can see you going on, I know you're going on No Jumper. I could just see you going on a run. When you do go to some of
Salute the Dawgface, man. He making moves out here in these YouTube streets, man. I know a lot of y'all that don't like him, man, but he doing his thing out here. Got everybody in the mix looking at him right now.
These white platforms that have notoriety.
Let's say you Sean Mike Kelly.
That's what I'm saying.
I did Sean Mike Kelly.
You did Sean Mike Kelly.
Sean Mike Kelly like the young Joe Rogan.
Yeah. So you got that. Let's say you do hop on a Joe Rogan and you hop on one of these streamers sites that's big. Will you feel like you've ascended, or will you feel like I'm still with my people? Because I think subconsciously we still look at white platforms as bigger and better.
Yeah.
So how would you take it if you start ascending when you start ascending to that level? Will you feel like it'll be backsliding going back on some of these black platforms?
No. So when I go to Detroit, so I've been on some of the biggest platforms in the country, or I am scheduled to be on some of the biggest platforms in the country. And so it's a conversation. Some platforms have different conversations. They have different audiences that they cater to. I'm well versed enough, and I'm a student of all things, right? When I come on Reallyfe Street Starz, we talk about a variety of different things, from politics to religion to sports and entertainment. I can talk about anything because I've lived a life.
Right.
I've lived this shit. So do I look at being on Sean Mike Kelly like it's something that is a notch in my belt? Am I honored to be on it? I am, to tell you the truth, I am.
Yeah.
Right? Because there is somebody who made a decision that, based on looking at me, they made a decision that I qualify to be on their platform, even though the conversations that we're going to have are not necessarily the same conversations, because the world is a large place.
Very
right?
large.
When I come to Reallyfe Street Starz, we talk about everything. We don't just talk about nigga shit.
Right.
We talk about everything. I can function on any platform, right? So do I look at it like it's a goal? Yeah, I do. I look at it like I'm happy that somebody recognized the fact that I qualified to be on a platform and my conversation is expansive enough to be able to talk about multiple different things. That is the true essence of a well-rounded conversationalist. That's the true essence of what we call the influencers. I am an influencer in that way. And all it does is just add to my overall bottom line.
All right, man, we're going to end that right there, man. You hear Dawgface, man. He ain't got too much bad to say about Charleston White. He just don't like the fact that Charleston White is trying to diss the platforms that built him up. And I understand where Dawgface coming from, man. He say, Charleston White, you got to get more versatile, which I think Charleston White is. But you got to stick to your bread and butter, bro. That's what you came in with, bro. And you saying that say cheese and things like that stopping your endorsement. But guess what, y'all? I'm doing the reaction to Charleston White tomorrow on the new Say Cheese interview. That's crazy work, ain't it? It's just all about a whole bunch of contradicting, man. Shout out to Dawgface for speaking on this situation, man. Hopefully a whole lot of people will run across this clip and see what Dawgface really in it for, man. He's trying to make his way through this YouTube street. Well, I ain't gonna say try, but he is making his way through this YouTube streets, man. But before we get up out of there, though, man, if you're new to the channel, man, smash that subscribe button, get your boy up to 10K subs, man. We on the verge of getting it, man. But shout out to Dawgface once again, and shout out to Reallyfe Street Starz, man. Y'all leave y'all comments in the comment section. Let me know how y'all feel about Charleston White and the things that he got going on and how he feel about these platforms that's actually platforming him and helping him out. Leave y'all thoughts in the comment section. I don't know. Just keeping it real. We're going to call a ball, a strike, the Metaverse Umpire. BT Scoop, I'm out.
Right beside me, recording every update. We drop gems back to back like broadcasts on the front page. No cap allowed, only real ones allowed in the session. We fact check rumors, turn lies into lessons. Independent press, ain't no label that a nigga reppin'. Every episode hit like a streetwise confession. From live streams to articles, the work don't stop. We break stories before anchors, even read from the top. Headphones on tight, every beat getting chopped. It's that Broadway tone, it's the truth when I talk.